Hi guys, welcome to a Face for a Face for what? A Face for Radio video series. I'm Sarah LaDuke, doing this arts interview program on Instagram Live for WAMC. We are also archiving the interviews at on YouTube. So if you search YouTube for my name or WAMC and a Face for Radio video series, which maybe, well, that's the name of it. It's too late to go back now. Anyway, today I'm going to speak with Meira Blaustein, the co-founder, director, and programmer of the Woodstock Film Festival. She should be here any moment. But before we talk to Meira, I wanted to thank people for tuning in and posting about this so far. This is the fourth episode? Yes, fourth edition of the program, and it's hard to say, and I say it with a tremendous amount of self-awareness. Hopefully, I'm having a great time with this. I know that the world is bananas, and everybody at the station is working really hard. I am working hard from home, but I'm also having fun doing these arts interviews. So I hope that everybody watching or listening or eventually watching is also finding some ways to have fun in these incredibly trying, dramatically stressful, just ludicrous times. So today I'm speaking with Meira Blaustein in a few minutes. Today at 4 o'clock, I'm going to talk to Pam Victor from the Happier Valley Comedy Organization. They're an improv arts teacher and located in the Pioneer Valley, and they have to go dark and furlough everybody for a little while, but they have one more event on Saturday, so I'm going to talk to Pam about that. Tomorrow I'm speaking with New York Magazine staff writer Sam Anderson, who's going to discuss his recent profile on Weird Al Yankovic. I have next week's schedule set too. I don't think it's in front of me. Let me scroll down and see. No, it's not all typed up now, and I'm not going to do a bunch of clicking. So tomorrow I'll announce next week's schedule, and it's another good one. I mean, this is working well. We're lucking out. So I just realized, I think that the writing on my shirt is backwards to you guys. It says Upstate of Mind. This is a sweatshirt that I got from the Fort Orange General Store, a beautiful little mercantile type shop in Albany, New York. They are doing online orders now if you want to support a local business in the capital region. They have beautiful stuff all the time, but also Mother's Day is coming up, and they have great stuff for Mother's Day. I placed an order for a bunch of cards to send to various mothers this morning before the roundtable started. So WAMC.org is, of course, the website for the radio station, and I am now going to get on with it and welcome Meira Blaustein from the Woodstock Film Fest to the conversation. First, I'm going to show you a blank wall and part of a yellow couch, apparently. Ay caramba. Hold on, let me find Meira here. Adding Woodstock Festival to the conversation. Hi, Meira.
Hello. How are you, Sarah? Oh
I'm doing okay. Now, you a little behind the scenes. You emailed me worrying about how you were going to look on this. You look fantastic. Look at those glasses.
Okay. Let's just focus on the glasses then,
No,
and
all of it.
ignore everything else.
No. Everything looks wonderful. That's not what's important, but it's also true. So you look great. Do not worry about it.
Okay. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I'm hand holding my phone, so it will keep on moving a little bit, which I think is a little jarring, but
It's part of it. It's just part of the whole thing. I have a little tripod for my phone that I would never have if I wasn't married to who I'm married to. He just already owned this little tripod, and I was like, well, let me co-opt that for the duration of the pandemic. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so the Woodstock Film Festival is offering new, innovative, like online programming. Let's talk about it. So first we'll talk about the virtual films and conversation series. Tell us about this.
Well, they're great. I'm so happy with them. We basically, I think March 13 was the last day that our office was open. And basically that evening, we already started developing the online programming. I think that we started sending people material to people days after. We were among the very first who had something like that going. It's going really, really well. Tonight is, well, at least in terms of the registration, is already sold out, but usually not everybody who registers ends up coming on board. So every Thursday we hold virtual conversations with filmmakers and industry leaders. I'll give you some examples of what we did. For instance, we had two of the principal editors of the marvelous Mrs. Maisel on, and they shared all kind of, behind the scene about the process and anecdotes, and that was really great. We had another one was a director, producer, and cinematographer of the film Swallow, which won the Woodstock Film Festival Jury Award last year and was released by IFC Films. Opened, I think it may have opened on March 6th.
Oh no.
and then
that doesn't
closed
work.
a few days after. So then it went online, and it's doing really, really well online. And actually, there's one drive-in across this country, somewhere in Florida, that has been playing it, and so number one in the box office,
right?
Because of that. So that was an incredible conversation, and lasted an hour, and it was very in depth and was beautiful. So, and today we have 3 industry leaders who will examine in depth the state of the movie industry today and tomorrow. So they're going to put their special looking glass and look into the future. They are head of IFC Films, the head of Magnolia Pictures, and the head of the New York Film Festival. So they're definitely industry leaders. They definitely know a lot what's going on, and I think they'll give us a lot of insight into where things may go and what all these companies are thinking about, looking into, and planning for the future of how we as consumers will experience films and movies in foreseeable future. So, and how it will change our lives, because obviously what's happening is going to change our lives and our world in some ways. We just we can't really picture that yet. We can just imagine and assume and deduce, but we don't really know.
Of course not.
So, and then the following week we will have actor, director, writer Tim Blake Nelson.
I was gonna say that's gonna be so good. He's so good.
I love him. You have to know that he's not just incredibly talented and smart. He's funny, sweet, and just really personable, and genuinely generous. So I think it's going to be so fun and really very insightful.
Tim Blake Nelson is next Thursday, April 30th, for a virtual film and conversation with the Woodstock Film Festival at 7 p.m. next Thursday, April 30th. He's of course in a lot of Coen Brothers movies. He makes his own films. Did you see him on Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Yes.
It was like an absolute riot. I wanted there to be like a spin-off of just his character being just a complete idiot all over the place. He was so funny.
I know. If you saw, on a totally flip side, if you saw the film Just Mercy, which came out towards the end of 2019, and unfortunately was not nominated for an Oscar. It should have been. It's really good. It's based on the Brian Stevenson book. And so Tim Blake Nelson has a very pivotal, crazy part in it, and he does it to beyond perfection. So he's just really good.
That's very cool
to have him. He's a good guy.
Absolutely. Then that one is next Thursday, April 30th at 7 p.m. Woodstock Film Festival is also offering alternative projections. That's another one of your new sort of missions. Tell me about that one.
And by the way we came up with titles for those programs, it's just like through conversation.
Sure.
It's not like we thought about it and had all these different titles. No, it's just like it was very random.
Yeah, well, you had to get it out there. You had to get started.
Yeah, exactly. So Alternative Projections is a series that we send out also once a week to our list out there. And it's consists of a film that was made by somebody who's connected to the film festival, and a Q&A on intro by the filmmaker. And if it's a Q&A, it's between the programmers, those people who decided that will show that film to our audience now. And they interview the filmmaker, and then they edit it for us. And I mean, it's like a mini film. That's what's coming up, by the way, Friday. It's going to be fantastic. It's between the animators Joy and Noel, who programmed the animation program at the festival, by the way, and the filmmaker Signa Bowman. And their interview, which is 7 minutes long, is the funniest and most wonderful one that you've seen. It's total treat. And then it will come with Signa's 3 animation shorts, and they are hilarious. So definitely should look out for that. That's going out Friday. So we that's what we do. We show films and interviews or introductions on usually Fridays, and we do talks on Thursdays. And for instance, when we did the film a couple of weeks ago, I think we did the producer and the composer of the film Lars and the Real Girl. So we send the email to people, and we let them know where and how they can see the film, and if we can include the link, we do that. If we cannot, we let them know where it can be found. And then a few days later, we have the filmmakers on and have this conversation. And the way we do it, by the way, people, I moderate, so I ask a couple of questions, but then I really let the audience take over, and they type in whatever questions they have, and I just go through that and curate in the conversation with their questions. And it's been going really well.
I'm sure. Are you saving the virtual films and conversations and archiving them anywhere or posting them anywhere?
On our website, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to be archived for forever. And
that's woodstockfilmfestival.org is the website. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. I mean, it's like real good visual podcasts, So because they're very intimate. It's something. I mean, I very much miss the in-person, of course, experiences, like all of us do.
Of course.
But on the other hand, when you are attending these kind of talks, intimate. It's like you're sitting with that person, in their house, and you're just having that conversation, or you're listening to somebody else having that conversation. It's very intimate. So it's very different than when you attend a Q&A in a movie theater and the person is sitting or standing on the stage, and you're sitting in the theater seats, who knows how many rows apart. It's very different. A lot of except for the fact that you can't touch anybody and you can't smell anybody.
You are breaking up a little bit now.
I'm sorry. It's there's nothing I can do about that. I apologize.
It's not your fault.
I can try to move.
Okay. No, that's okay.
I can try to move. Let me
see
if I can move a little bit. I mean, I don't think that it's going to make a difference,
okay,
but I can try to move toward the
sure.
Here. We'll see how that part of the house is, if it's any better.
So okay. You mentioned that Swallow is screening at one drive-in. Are there drive-ins near you that you might start working with to do screenings so that people can join and watch from their cars?
Definitely.
Does that work?
Right now, all of them are closed because all theaters in New York State are closed.
Of course.
But when they reopen, first of all, I think that generally speaking, drive-ins will flourish because it's a safer environment now to watch a movie. And yes, I've definitely been thinking about that, thinking about erecting outdoor screening experiences, whether that's with drive-ins or not. I mean, thinking about a lot of options of how to go forward, at least in 2020.
I know that you really have no sense right now what will happen for the festival in the fall, but you must be scrambling thinking, what will we do if we can't have the festival? I mean, like most projections say that it'll, you'll be able to, but,
um,
mm,
yeah, thinking about it all the time. Of
of
course,
course.
um, there. I'm also talking to a lot of other organizations and festivals and seeing what they are looking into and considering. There are a ton of online festivals that are popping now, and that clearly is going to be at least the immediate future and has been already. It started with South by Southwest, and Tribeca went online, and now
That's right.
Cannes is going to go online. Um, so right now it's the reality, and a lot of systems, a lot of companies have developed ways by which by really supporting online film festivals so that it can actually happen and can be a very interactive, engaging experience. Um, but it's all new. So, I mean, the good thing about what's happening for me, and there isn't that much good, but the
Mm.
good thing, the good thing is that we are all forced to learn new things and kind of reinvent ourselves, and that's always interesting, at least to me. Um, I find myself learning. I mean, I don't even do Instagram, honestly. You can ask,
It's
but
okay.
that's a little thing. But everything that we're doing online now, for instance, is new. So definitely new to us. So I think that people are reinventing themselves, and and learning new things, and that's a very, I think that's a positive.
This is the A Face for Radio video series. I'm Sarah LaDuke, speaking with Meira Blaustein, the co-founder, director, and programmer of the Woodstock Film Festival. So you're thinking all the time and communicating with people who work with you and for you all the time about what you're going to do, what you can do. And that's probably filling a lot of your day as you're at home, but it can't completely be filling your day, and hopefully you're relaxing a little bit too. How are you filling your non-work hours? What are you up to?
Well, first of all, I wanted about the work hours, which really is most of my day.
Sure.
I have two staff meetings a day. We have it in the morning and the afternoon. Of course, it's online, but we keep to it. So we have our times, and it's really staff meetings, and they're great. And I've gotten to know my staff really well.
What's the size of the staff? How many people are at the meetings?
Well, it's just the four of us.
Okay.
Myself and the three people who work directly under me.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them is, does something different. But we work very well together, and it's fun. And in between, of course, there's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that, dealing with the whole financial ramifications of what's happening as a not-for-profit, it's not good.
No.
And developing everything. And I'm trying to take walks.
Yes.
I'm trying to take walks every day. This is the only way also to socialize, at least for me. I go for a walk with this friend or that friend, and we, just talk.
Yeah.
Quite a few feet apart.
Right. And yeah, kind of like projecting through your mask as you walk around, depending on.
Actually, I have to say that I don't walk with a mask.
Okay.
And don't report me to any mask police, but I walk in places where there are hardly any people. I do not want to wear a mask when I take a walk in nature because I can't breathe the fresh air, so I don't see what the point is.
Gotcha.
So I go to places where there's hardly anybody. And if I walk with friends, we walk quite a few apart, so it's fine.
Okay.
And other than that, if I do have time, other than walk, eat, watch some old movies. Like I watched, I think a couple of nights ago, I watched Roman Holiday, which I must have seen like 5 times before already. But it put such a big smile on my face. I just love Audrey Hepburn so much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
And I mean, between Audrey Hepburn and Gary Cooper, I mean, it just doesn't get much better. Listening to music. I whenever I try to relax, I listen to classical music. Japan is always my go-to. It just calms me down. So I do that. But I mean, activities are not, they're kind of becoming narrower and narrower as you're limited to in terms of just life.
Yeah, no, it's bizarre. But I think I was watching more streaming TV before this because it was like, work all day at the station, come home, have dinner, collapse and watch something. And now I can like spread the work out a little more throughout the day.
Right.
I've been getting up earlier, go for a walk in the middle of the day. So then I'm like, well, I somehow filled my whole day with bits of work, this new series, talks with friends, walks with my husband or friends. And then I'm like, how have I not finished season 2 of Atlanta yet? What am I even doing? But it just is like weirdly less of a priority when it's not like the only way to relax or something. It's strange. Like it's funny. My viewing habit has lessened from when I was at work all the time.
I love the fact that I can go out for a walk in the middle of the day. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Unless sometimes, on the weekend. But now I can go out. Like after you and I hang up, I think I'm going to go out for a little walk before my staff meeting in the afternoon, so I can, just be outside. I don't do that when I at the office. I just,
Right.
sit at my desk and get up at the end of the day. Basically.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing how you get swallowed up by your computer. Hours later, oh my god, it didn't move. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. No, we have when I'm at work, sometimes the newsroom where I sit most of the day doesn't have any windows. And so I will walk out at the end of the day on occasion and be like, oh, it rained today or it was sunny today. And I just had no idea. But yeah, I mean, that's something we all already knew wasn't great for us. So hopefully we can, adjust it when things re-regulate to I don't know, like maybe you can take a walk in the middle of the day when you get back to your office. Maybe I can too.
I think I'm gonna do that. It's funny because I sit actually much less when I'm home. I'm always I sit of course quite a bit because that's what I do with the computer, but I get up and just whatever random things and not so random all the time, and it's really great. Of course, my days also, by the way, does revolve around Governor Cuomo's
of course,
press
yeah.
conference. I mean, do not talk to me during his press conference. I'm indisposed. He doesn't know it, but he and I.
You have a relationship.
We have a future together.
That's not an uncommon feeling right now. I have 4 friends that I message as soon as I find out from my work email what time he'll be on, and it's usually 11:30, but not always. Earlier this week he was in Buffalo and he was on earlier, and I text my friends the time he's going to be on, and then they all send me like heart emojis. I'm like, okay, guys. So I'm saying you're gonna have some competition, but some of those friends are married, so then they're out of the running, I guess.
It's totally ridiculous. He's really not that handsome, and he's not my type. But that's also. So you have what I'm trying to say is that and I'm sure everybody have some things that anchor our days, because our life is so off kilter these days. So having some things that anchor your day, like listening to Governor Cuomo or having a staff meeting or knowing already when you're going for a walk, that really does help. But these are very strange days. And
the strangest. I mean, it's insane. And it's impossible. I have said this before on the series, but it's impossible to hold in my brain all of the different ways it's affecting people. Like you and I are very fortunate. We're working, we're comfortable at home.
Yeah.
We have internet, we're able to do this, and you're, able to program stuff, and I'm able to still do my job. And then other people just have this completely different, truly devastating experience that I have to keep like reminding myself, I am fine. I am lucky. I am fine. And other people need more, attention. But that doesn't mean it's not nothing for all of us in our mental health too, to be going through this. But you just have to remember that other people have it way, way, way worse.
I know. One of the things that frustrates me is that because I have I have very not great lungs. I've had some really serious things with my lungs. I'm being very careful.
Yeah.
So that I can't go out and be there in the field helping people.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wish I could be doing that, and it frustrates me that I can't. And I try to think that what we're doing with our virtual programming is helping people in some way, because I really feel the need to make a difference and help. But I'm not really going very far these days because I'm trying to be careful.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself too. You have to take care of
Yeah.
yourself too. Definitely. Absolutely. Of course.
Yeah.
Meira Blaustein is the director, programmer, and co-founder of the Woodstock Film Festival. Let me make sure I say the URL correctly. woodstockfilmfestival.org to find out about their online programming. You can also follow them on Twitter, Woodstock Film, at Woodstock Film on twitter.com. Meira, thank you for producing the art you're producing and sharing it with people in the region and all over the world. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to see you.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was Meira Blaustein. I'm very distracted by my shirt being backwards, the text on my shirt being backwards. This is Meira Blaustein, the director, programmer, co-founder of the Woodstock Film Festival. Once again, on Twitter, at Woodstock Film, and woodstockfilmfestival.org to learn about their virtual films and conversations and alternative projections, the online programming they are providing while they can't do in-person screenings anywhere. At 4 o'clock today, I'll be back talking with Pam Victor of the Happier Valley Comedy Festival. Tomorrow at 1, I'm talking to Sam Anderson, New York Times Magazine staff writer, about his profile of Weird Al. WAMC.org for the station's regular programming. Today on the roundtable, Joe Donahue aired an interview with Simon Winchester about the Mississippi River and its history and future and flooding. And Simon is a wonderful, wonderful speaker and a brilliant man. So that's online at WAMC.org, along with all the news programs and all the coverage that our reporters are working on all the time, our bureau chiefs. Some are working from home, some are still going to their bureaus because they're the only people there. But they're working really, really hard. Everybody is, pounding the pavement and pounding their keyboards and trying to keep people informed. So thank you for joining me. Thank you again to Meira, and I will be back at 4 o'clock